But so basically, so there's the MK Ultra experiments at the Haight-Ashbury that, you know, Charles Manson is a part of. And then in like late 1968, he moves down to Los Angeles. And this is kind of where a guy named Reese Winston.
Reese Witherspoon. Couldn't help myself.
Reeves Winston.
Sorry.
Kind of gets involved. He's a CIA agent. There's like no actual proof that he was a Chaos agent but there's also no proof that of anybody being a Chaos agent because the CIA destroyed all their files. Because in the 70s, when these two programs, Chaos and COINTELPRO, were kind of discovered, that the CIA and the FBI had two different programs that were designed to destroy the anti-war movement and destroy the Black Panthers. The CIA just destroyed all their files.
And the situation with the Black Panthers was insane because didn't you mention something about they were suspicious of their own members being cooperating witnesses with the government, so they started kind of assassinating within their group?
I know that some people got killed. Well, so COINTELPRO, the entire point was to turn these groups against each other.
Right. Yeah.
They wanted the Black Panthers to hate the anti-war movement. There was this group of like rich Hollywood white people, like Jane Fonda was a part of them. They called themselves the White Panthers. And basically they were, you know, rich Hollywood liberals who supported the Black Panthers. And part of COINTELPRO was to get them to stop supporting this group because they didn't want like America as a whole to see the Black Panthers as being sympathetic. So they wanted to make these Hollywood liberals think that when the Black Panther finally have their like revolution, that they're going to be murdered also. And you talk about Charles Manson, who killed these rich Hollywood people in the Sharon Tate Roman Polanski house that was known for hosting parties for, you know, everyone in Hollywood. I mean, Roman Polanski was the biggest director at the time. And everyone in Hollywood had kind of been to that house. So you're talking about a mass murder of well-liked people in Hollywood in a house that everybody had been to, and it's being blamed on the Black Panthers. I mean, that can't be more what COINTELPRO wanted to happen. They wanted these two groups to hate each other. And then bringing in the fact that Charles Manson was a hippie and that now you're viewing hippies as being evil. I know like it kind of falls apart on itself because if you know that Charles Manson's the actual killer, then why would they hate the Black Panthers? But I mean, my theory at least was that there was at least a time after the murders where the FBI and the CIA were like, let's just let people think that the Black Panthers did this.
And if today's society is any indication, I mean, racists will literally take the smallest possible crumb and eat it up. Recently, we have the death of a 5-year-old child.
He was murdered in front of his 7 and 8-year-old sister.
Being co-opted by people.
Being co-opted by racists.
To speak against the Black Lives Matter movement. So if you want to see racism, you'll fucking find it.
I mean, I'm sure that there were people in America who even after Charles Manson... If you want to be
racist, you'll find a way to be racist. That's a better way to say it.
I'm sure there were people in America who even after Charles Manson was arrested still hated the Black Panthers for this.
Of course.
Probably.
You could... I mean, it's like, you know, you could tell someone the facts, but if they don't... If facts don't matter to them... then, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. But also just to point out, I mean, because now you have like, all right, not only are there these examples where it lines up in Manson's story of him being around people that seem to have a connection to the CIA or these programs. But now you have the actions of Manson and the family kind of achieving the goals of those.
Well, he achieved the goals of 2 programs.
Right.
So, yeah, there was Chaos that wanted to dismantle the anti-war and the hippie movement. Manson did that for them. And there was MK Ultra that wanted to turn innocent people into assassins. Charles Manson did that for them because none of these girls had violent pasts. I mean, I think Ted Watson had been arrested before, but besides that, you know, I don't think Susan Atkins was a prostitute before she found Charles. Still, there's no violence. I mean,
that's not,
Yeah, there's no violence.
She's gonna...
Susan Atkins killed Epstein.
Probably. What's the median age of all these people? They're in their 20s or even younger?
Even younger. I mean, there were girls as young as 14, 15.
And Manson was like in his mid-30s or something?
Manson is 30. He's 32 when he's released in prison. So at the time of the murders, he's 34.
35, yeah.
He's 34 or 35.
Going on 70.
Well, he was a ridiculously ugly person.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So Reese Winston is a character who is kind of... There's no record of him working at the CIA, but his family believes that he worked for the CIA. There is record that he was undercover with the hippie movement, that he was this super right-wing conservative guy who he hated the hippies and he had gone undercover with them. And he says that he was embedded with the Manson family before the murders, and even said that he was at the Sharon Tate house after the murders happened. Also, Charles Manson claims that he went to the Sharon Tate house after the murders happened, before the police showed up. So who knows if they went there together? You know? And you're talking about Charles Manson and the CIA operative are going to the crime scene.
So you're potentially alleging the possibility that not only were Manson's actions a result of CIA training or whatever you want to call it, but they could have been like fundamentally involved in that particular event.
I mean, they could have. He did what he wanted. I don't know if that's...
Meaning like the planning and the execution of that event.
I don't know if that's what I believe.
Right.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities. Mm-hmm. Especially, you know, I don't know specifically what Tom O'Neill believes, but, you know.
Well, I mean, he generally is pretty good about...
He's good at just saying the facts and not speculating. I'm going to speculate.
Yeah.
This is what I think happened. Mm-hmm. I think that Charles Manson got the idea in his head about this race war between black people and white people because of what he was hearing from the CIA operatives. I don't know if they sent him there. I think that maybe they inadvertently taught him some mind control tricks with MK Ultra. He used that on the girls, and since he believed that this race war was coming, he wanted to get ahead of the curve, and he sent his girls there because of that. I don't know if really... I don't think like the CIA wanted Sharon Tate to be murdered, you know. I think it's more just a coincidence that, you know, they got what they wanted.